Welcome to the Jared Briggs Show. You guys, we've been working to get better at this whole system, and we thought we had it. Austin had it nailed down. Things were looking good. And then Instagram decided not to work again. So if you've seen a previous live and then this one jumped back up, it's because we had to restart it. But that is all right. We're getting it figured out. But you'll notice that Austin made an awesome adjustment so that it shows a pre-screen before we go live with a little crazy photo of myself. And so we're making progress, which is awesome. You guys, hope you're having a wonderful day. I woke up this morning and didn't even know what day it was. It's Tuesday. So it is Tuesday, and we are going to be talking about the one percenters. And what I mean by the one percenters, have you guys ever really thought about that? The one percenters. I also want to share real quick, if you guys didn't catch yesterday's live, we talked about money is only as good as the investment you make with it. What does that mean? Money is a tool. Money is a resource. What are you doing with it? So the whole goal with this, everything that we're doing, is to use our money better, to make it better, to live better financially, and to get ahead financially so that nobody controls us. Nobody has anything over us. That is the goal. So the one percenters, this is an interesting topic. Have any of you ever wondered, like, what does it take to be a one percenter? Let's actually ask Nova really quick. Nova is my AI person, or my ChatGPT, and I'm just going to hit this prompt. Hey, Nova, got a question for you. To be in the top 1% of income earners in the United States of America, how much money would one person have to earn per year? Searching for top 1%. On average, you need to earn roughly $731,000 to $794,000. I swear this was like 430 a while ago. Just a couple of years ago, that's what it said. Anyway, so we need to be, we'll just call it 730 and above. $730,000 per year. That's a pretty good chunk of change, ladies and gentlemen. The thing that I ask is, there are people out there that are doing that. Lots and lots and lots and lots of people. So what are they doing? What is it that they know that we don't know? Have you ever asked that question when it comes to money? I'm going to share a tool. I'm going to share something that I believe in from a perspective just to expand your guys' minds. Have you ever heard of the Rockefeller family? Is it J.D. Rockefeller? Yeah, I've always just said the Rockefellers. But the Rockefeller family goes way back. If you guys have ever watched the show, The Men Who Built America, it's on Amazon Prime. It's a really good show. I've watched it many times. It's just really inspiring and super cool. Well, J.D. Rockefeller was one of the people there that is one of kind of the founding fathers of big industry in the United States of America, and they amassed a significant amount of wealth. The wild thing is the amount of money they collected, that they earned over their lifetime. Elon Musk and all those people, they're not even close. Like, they earned an unreal amount of money, even for back in that day, and what it contributes to today is just incredible. And so what did these families do? Well, one thing about it in today's world, the Rockefeller family, let's just ask Nova this too. Hey, Nova, the Rockefeller family, like J.D. Rockefeller and his family members that are still alive today, are they still a very high net worth family? Let's just see what she has to say. Yes. Okay, here we go. I thought that's all she was going to give me. He controlled 90% of U.S. oil refining, estimated inflation-adjusted net worth 400 to 450 billion. So yeah, legendary. That's what Nova said. Estimated inflation-adjusted net worth 400 to 450 billion. So yeah, legendary. What happened to the money? The Rockefeller wealth didn't disappear. It spread out. Trust, foundations, generational diversification, quiet power, not flashy lifestyles. Over 6-7 generations, the wealth has intentionally divided and protected. Are the Rockefellers still rich today? Absolutely, just differently rich. Differently rich. Estimated combined family net worth, 8 to 15 billion spread across 100 plus living descendants. No single Rockefeller today rivals Bezos or Musk, but the family as a whole is still elite level wealthy. Instead of oil wells, it's in private equity, venture capital, real estate, asset management, philanthropy and influence, Rockefeller. I was going to see if it says anything about this in here because they're think tanks. There's some books written on them about what I'm going to share with you guys. I'm just going to see modern tech billionaires. Interesting. Okay, so the Rockefellers are still a multi-billion-dollar family, and it's multi-generational, which is super cool. I'm going to share something with you guys. I actually need to, I'm going to run an illustration one day and share it with you guys. One thing I've learned that really piqued my interest about the one percenters is what is it that they do with their money? Okay, I'm going to ask another question. Oh. Hey, Nova, is there an income limit to where you can invest into retirement accounts? So let's say I had a personal income of $1 million a year or plus. Could I still invest in 401ks and Roth IRAs and different accounts? Is there a limit on how much money I can earn and still invest in traditional retirement accounts? I know that there's an answer on this. You guys, I use AI a lot now. It's so much quicker to find stuff. So if you're making $1 million plus per year, you can still invest, just not always in the way most people think. Employer plans, no income limit to participate, traditional IRAs. This is where income starts to matter. Contributions. Anyone with earned income contribute to a traditional IRA. Deductions. High income may eliminate the tax deduction, especially. So $1 million you can contribute, you likely cannot deduct it. Roth IRAs. Direct Roth IRA. This is the big one people ask about. Direct Roth IRA income limits apply. At high incomes, you are phased out completely. So at a $1 million income, you cannot contribute directly to a Roth IRA. You guys, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting that you can invest in retirement accounts based on your income? I didn't understand these things until like 2020, 2021 when I was looking at being a financial advisor. I didn't understand that there were limits. There's loopholes and ways that you can, but there are limits and restrictions on where you can invest your money. Kind of an interesting concept there, just to kind of exercise the brain and be like, oh, what the heck's going on? So this tool and resource I'm going to share with you guys is something that I've learned from a few books that the Rockefeller family invest into heavily. I'm going to get the titles of it for you guys. Hey, Nova, there are books written about the Rockefeller family investing in whole life insurance. What's the names of them? Garrett Gunderson. There we go. Yes, there are a few books. What would the Rockefellers do? How the wealthy get and stay that way, and how you can too. Authors Garrett Gunderson and Michael G. Isom. The Rockefellers related books. The Life of John D. Rockefeller, a deeply researched biography. Okay, so what would the Rockefellers do? And Garrett Gunderson, he's got some really cool things on this that he's written. He actually had to change the titles because of the names he used. But Garrett Gunderson's actually a Utah resident and is super smart. So if you guys want to check this out, I'm not just making these things up. You can really go check it out. Whole life insurance, specifically set up in a very specific way. Whole life insurance can be a really cool place to store, invest, grow, and leverage money. The cool part about it is, and the thing that I love about whole life insurance, one of the biggest benefits to it is I had a meeting probably 2 months ago with a couple that live in Wyoming, helping them with their Medicare plans, and we got talking about retirement accounts. And they shared with me, they're like, Gal, it is so frustrating every time we pull money out of these accounts, how much tax that it is we have to pay. You see, there's the thing. If you invest into a traditional IRA or a 401k or any of those traditional retirement accounts, you're getting a tax benefit on the front end, but anytime you touch the money on the back end, you pay full tax on it. And taxes are higher now than they were 30 years ago. And so these people that invest, and then all of a sudden start pulling the money out, they're like, we're paying way more in taxes now than we would have up front. The cool part about a whole life insurance policy and why I'm a fan of it is it's tax-free in retirement for you to use it. And any of the benefit left there in a life insurance policy is tax-free, to your beneficiaries. So let's say you had $1 million policy, you pass away, and you have 2 kids, they each get 500,000, that is completely tax free. Where if you have $500,000 in a traditional retirement account and pass that on to your family members, they're going to pay full tax. They're going to be taxed on the whole thing. And so just a different concept of it. One of the other cool parts about a whole life insurance policy is it grows. So you put the money in there and it grows and grows and grows and grows. It grows cash value for you to access, and it grows a death benefit, so when the person passes away. One thing that I've studied, and not everybody does, but there are a lot of people out there that are very smart and have learned a lot of things that I've learned from personally, and they invest heavily into whole life insurance. Now, I'm going to share here with you that whole life insurance is not an answer for everybody. I believe it is a very good investment. I believe it is a smart investment. But there are other financial people out there on the internet that say only buy whole life insurance, only buy term and invest the difference into the mutual funds and all those different things. They're right. If you do not use a policy for exactly what it is structured for and how it can be used, it is a terrible investment. You're going to pay a lot of money for premium. It's going to grow, but if you never use it, what's the purpose of it? You could have bought that amount of life insurance for very cheap using other life insurance policies. The reason why, I'm just going to share with you personally, the reason why I like these things is, one, if you want to be in the top 1%, you got to make a lot of money. But even if you don't make $730,000 a year plus, what if I could think like the 1%? What if I could operate like the 1%? Even if I make $73,000 a year and I operate my finances as a 1% and I use all the tax benefits, things that are out there, I leverage these things, I use these things, I structure my money, I invest my money in these specific ways that the 1% are, don't you think you'd be significantly better off than if you didn't? That's the way I look at it. And so when my wife and I started looking at these investments in 2016, 2017, we finally bought a policy. I studied it for 1.5 years before I did anything. I invest the money into it. It grows a cash value account. I can access that cash value account at any time. And when I access that policy at any time, it is tax-free all the time. Instead of going to the bank and getting a loan, let's say I go get a vehicle loan at 8%, I can access the money from my policy. There's no application. There's no nothing. I set the terms for the loan. I have full control of how that works, and I can talk about these things later. So I can invest my money into it now, just like a traditional retirement account. Let's say I take $300 a month and invest into a policy. Same thing as a retirement account. The difference with it is maybe I'm not getting the tax benefit. You can structure it to get a tax benefit, but maybe I'm not getting it up front like some other investments can. But what I am getting is I have access to that money, and nobody tells me when, where, why, how, or what. Okay, so if I'm putting $300 a month into this policy, and 5 years down the road, let's say there's $22,000 available. The numbers probably don't match up, but let's just say I can access that $22,000 at any time. The beautiful part about it is if I have $20,000 sitting in an investment account making 6% interest, if I pull that money out, how much money am I earning now? Nothing. I'm not earning any money on that money because it's out of the account. If I have $22,000 sitting in a whole life insurance policy, what happens is I actually don't withdraw my money. I use my $22,000 as collateral. The life insurance company gives me their money, and I pay an interest rate on it. Now, I get that you're paying an interest rate on it, but it's significantly less than a lot of banks and credit unions and stuff that are offering right now. I borrowed all the money from my wife's policy and paid off a truck and saved 2.2% interest per month. So I'm saving a lot of money. Now I have no creditors. Like if I don't make a payment back into my policy, nobody's coming after me. I set the terms for it. But if I pull $22,000 out of that policy, let's say it's earning 4% at the moment, I'm still earning 4% because I didn't take my money out. I used the life insurance company's money. So my policy is gaining a dividend. I'm earning interest, and I took the money out and I went and bought real estate or used it for business or bought a vehicle or whatever. My dollar's doing multiple things at the same time. So I love the access to it. I don't have to wait till I'm 59 and a half. Nobody tells me how much I can put into them. There's no restrictions on that. Literally, whatever I can qualify for is how much I can invest into it. And 90% of the time, or even more, people qualify for more than they can afford. So that's not an issue. Where if you earn too much money, they're going to restrict you on how much you can invest. Okay. So a whole life insurance policy, I set the terms of how much I want to invest into it. I can use the money right now while I'm 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and it's all tax-free in retirement. So if I want to supplement retirement income, I can. I can pull, 50,000 a year, 100,000 a year, and it's completely tax-free. The next really cool benefit to it is the death benefit is always greater than the cash value. So if by the time I'm, let's say 70, and I've got $1.8 million death benefit and $1.3 million cash value. If I've borrowed the full $1.3 million in retirement, completely tax-free in retirement for income, and I pass away, the life insurance company is going to keep what is owed plus interest and send the rest to my family completely tax-free. So I used the money tax-free and I left it to my family tax-free. This is the crazy option and a really cool option to build for retirement, use it during your life, grow an investment, and plan it all for tax-free. Those are just some of the wild, cool investments. So the one percenters, what do the 1% do? I'm not sitting here telling you that 1%, the 1%ers, every one of them is investing into these things, because a lot of people don't even know about these. I didn't know about it when it first come across my desk, my table, my life. My wife and I are like, this is some voodoo stuff right here. Like, how does this work? And then I read multiple books, started asking questions, and I was like, holy crap, this is cool. This fits our strategy. This fits our philosophy. This fits our goals and our dreams. And so I really liked that about it. I'll tell you this, the one percenters are very conscious of their money. They have studied money. They have learned about money. They have educated themselves in every aspect of money that they could. That's been very informal information, lots of great information in the sense of how they leverage and access and use their money. I got tongue-tied like crazy right there. I don't know what the heck I was saying. So whole life insurance. I share this because I'm passionate about it. I share this because 62 to 67% of people, wherever the statistics are coming from, are worried about and stressed about money in retirement. And so I hope to share some information that's maybe going to cause people to think a little bit differently. Maybe these policies aren't the right thing for you, but maybe it'll cause you to go study other things. Maybe you should learn about your 401ks and where you're investing your money, your traditional IRAs, your Roth IRAs, your index universal life policies. You should learn all of these things and compare these things against each other. I have studied these things multiple times, and I just submitted another policy for myself this week. And so education is a big part of it, ladies and gentlemen. Number two, we're going to jump right into this again. I really enjoy talking about all these things. Number two is going to start at 1827. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking about the money reset is what I've been calling it. And the money reset, like a little, whatever those things are with DJs. There we go. The money reset is your own personal commitment to yourself financially. If 2025 wasn't the best year financially, maybe it's time to learn some new information. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. How many people have saved money, invested money, managed money, operated money the same way in 2025 as they did in 2024, and 2024 as they did in 2023, and so on? If it didn't freaking work last year, it probably isn't going to work this next year, unless something wild happens. It doesn't work, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to share something with you guys that when I was a young lad, knee-high to a grasshopper, when I was a young, newly married individual in my early 20s, I was freaking lost financially. I was stressed financially. I was making less than $1,000 a month, and I was like, I got to figure this out. And I learned the concept from The Richest Man in Babylon, the whole pay yourself first, manage your money, become a steward of your money. So this isn't my this isn't my knowledge. This isn't my doing. I decided that if I wanted something to be better, that I had to make changes. And I remember learning the whole concept of pay yourself first and being a steward of your money so that you tell your money what to do. And the very first investment that I made into myself and into my wife and I's system was $25. I literally took $25 and I managed it. And I was like, wow, this is going to take a long freaking time to create any financial success, but at least I did it. And then the next month I did it again, and I did it again, and I did it again. And then my wife and I's income increased, and our saving and investing increased, and it actually turned into something far greater than I ever thought it could be, so much to the point that my wife and I had money when land came up for sale. We bought an acre of land. When we moved to where that land was, we were able to build a house, and now we're living in this house, and it is 100% a product of being disciplined with finances, using the system from Arkad in The Richest Man in Babylon. You guys, I really invite you to read this book. It's a really good one. And so I've broken it down into 3 steps. 3 steps of how to be better with money. 3 steps of how to make more money. 3 steps of how to get ahead financially and to be the master of your money. And so step number 1 is you need to know your income. This is very crucial that you know your income, how much money you are collecting every single month. Whether you get paid every 2 weeks, whether you get paid every week, doesn't matter. Whatever your system is, however your bills, most people's bills are month by month, so I look at income based on month by month. You know, how much are you collecting per month? Because if you make $4,250, that's different than $4,350. I know it's only $100, but that's $1,200, and in 10 years, that's $12,000. You can either be a manager and a steward of that $12,000 and put it to work and use that, or it can just disappear. It can literally disappear. Knowing your income is very important. Step number 2 is creating a wealth creation plan. What I mean by a wealth creation plan is we're going to take this knowing your income even a step further. We want to know income minus expenses, minus goals, dreams, plans, everything, and manage everything down to exact dollar. You take your income, then you take your fixed expenses, then you take your variable expenses, and then your goals and dreams and passions and investments and everything that you want to do. And we manage that down to where you are managing every single penny. So it's not left up to wonder, you know, where's our money going every single month? You know, there's always more month than money. You know, what is going on financially? We're always creating a system where we are in charge. And by doing this, by having that, it puts you in a powerful position to where you're going to increase income because of it. You're going to start earning more interest. You're going to start seeing opportunities that you've never seen before. It puts you in a position to where now, instead of blaming the government and inflation and the president and taxes and all these different things that are going on, it's like, okay, yeah, inflation sucks. These things suck. This is what's going on, but I'm in control. I'm in charge. I know what's going on financially with my money. And then we create a plan and we execute. Step number 3 is increasing income. If you make $5,000 a month, how would life be if you made $8,000 a month? Like, if you are tight financially now, but you're able to make it and you have a disciplined system, what if you made $8,000 a month? That's another $36,000 a year. Now, you put half of that to work for you, you're going to create a lot of wealth. Plus, now you have an even better living situation. Okay, increasing income is the step to wealth. Increasing income is the opportunity for you to take charge and get ahead financially. But if we never increase income, you know, or we just wait for, you know, our cost of living raises. Well, you get a cost of living every raise for the next 20 years, you're still going to be behind financially. I believe that you are a capable individual and human being, that if your goal is to make 80 grand a year and you're making 30 grand a year, you are capable of that. If you have a desire to make 730,000 and be in the top 1%, you are capable of that. We are capable of everything that we desire. You are 100% capable. Because the other beautiful part about it is, if you have some goals and dreams within your own mind and things that you see, visions that you only understand, and when you try to explain it to other people, they look at you like you're a wacko. It's because those dreams were not given to them. They were given to you. See, God planted into your heart and into your mind what you are capable of and who you are capable of being. So have faith in that, trust in that, and lean into that. And so increasing income is your opportunity to really get ahead financially. What I mean by increasing income is knowing your income and creating a wealth creation plan where you know what's going on. Remember, we don't use the word budget. Budget is limiting. We want to create a wealth creation plan. We want money to work for us. We want to progress. We want to go forward. By creating that system, you now don't have to stress and worry about money. Maybe you're not making enough money. Maybe things are still tight, but you know what's happening with your money. That was the biggest change that happened and that I appreciated is now instead of playing the guessing game and, am I okay? I knew. I'm like, okay, things are tight, but I've managed everything. So now I know if we can afford going out to eat, or I know if we can afford doing X, Y, or Z, but I'm going to focus all my extra energy, effort, and time on increasing income. If I'm making $1,000, how do I get to 2? How do I get to 3? How do I get to 5? And so on. That's where freedom is created, ladies and gentlemen. If you just sit here and focus on a budget and how can I save, you're going to be very disappointed for the rest of your life because inflation is going to continue to happen. Housing goes up, groceries go up, gas goes up, taxes go up, the cost of everything. I mean, you buy a bottle of water nowadays. They cost a lot more than they did 10 years ago. So you can only save so much. If you cut something out of your life and save $200 a month, well, if you have an apartment that you're renting or a house or a vehicle or it's not going to take long before something's going to happen and take up that $200 within your budget because inflation happens. But if we can earn quicker and faster than inflation is happening, now you're in charge. And once you learn that skill of like, okay, I increased my income $500 a month, why couldn't I do it again? Now I'm making another $1,000 a month. Why couldn't I double that so that I'm making another $2,000 a month? That is such a fun, a more fun side of the coin to be on, is when you are in control and you are in charge instead of sitting here complaining about the president and politics and healthcare and the government and these things. It puts you in a position of power where now nobody owns you. You're like, hey, I'm good financially. And if somebody tells me to do something that I don't agree with, I'm good enough financially that I can say no. I wish so badly that would have been the situation in COVID, that the large majority of people in the United States would have been well off financially, that when the government says, hey, if you don't get the COVID shot, you're going to lose your job. Or if you don't wear a mask, you're going to lose your job. Or if you don't use this, so many people had to comply because they're dependent on their job. They're dependent on their income. They can't go one day. What is it? The majority of Americans can't come up with $500 without the use of a credit card. That's the statistics. That puts the government in a position of power. That's why they can do the things that they are doing. That's just a product of everything going on financially in the United States of America is our fault because we did it to ourselves. We were the one that was ignorant in the sense of knowledge and understanding and learning. So I share with you that if you have a desire to be better off financially, you are 100% capable of it. 100% capable. You just need to learn some new information. You need to learn some new knowledge. You can't do things this year like you did last year. We never can, or we're going to get the same results. So that number 2 was the money reset is, number 1, you need to know your income. Number 2, you need to create a wealth creation plan. And number 3, you need to take all the energy, effort, and time and increase your income. Because when you increase your income, you take charge of your life. When you take charge of your life, nobody can tell you what you can and can't do. When nobody can tell you what you can and can't do, you are a powerful individual. And guess what the government doesn't want? Powerful individuals and families. That is the last thing they want. That is the last thing Satan wants. He wants us all to be dependent on evil. All right, we are going to shift gears here for just a minute back to something really fun. This is on Reddit. If you guys ever use Reddit, you can go find me at Moneyman. I think it's Moneyman_ right at the end. Yeah, Moneyman_, and then there's like a dash. Moneyman_Dash. Let me show you guys. Oh, wrong way. So if you guys, that's my Reddit account. So if you guys want to go follow me on Reddit, there you go. All right. So we're going to read some questions here. If you guys are new to this and haven't been a part of this yet, I love going to Reddit and answering people's questions, seeing if I can offer some value or information. Hopefully it helps them. So, excuse me. This is in debt advice. WTF-is-my-password. That's this person's handle. WTF is my password with dashes in between. That's hilarious. I'm a full-time working ER nurse holding 2 jobs in the summers with 3 sons, 6, 9, and 16, and a husband who primarily does marketing online as an independent contractor, earning approximately $20,000 gross annually. Your husband needs to go get a freaking job or learn how to make more money. I make around $110,000. Okay, I just got to go back to that. Like, what the frick? Ladies and gentlemen, you could say I'm a little bit more of a traditionalist. I'm sorry. But I believe that the man's job is to provide and protect for the family. That, like, God put us on this earth. We are here to provide and protect. Now, my wife has a job. She earns income. She wants to. She desires to. I hope one day that I earn enough that she wants to retire and stay home and we can do some other things, and we've talked about it. But she enjoys what she does now. But we don't rely on her income. She does it because she enjoys it. But in this situation, an independent contractor earning approximately less than $20,000 gross annually, yes, that's not even two grand a month. Okay. We wonder why there's so many freaking divorces going on in this country. We wonder why women step up so much and are like the head of the household. It's because of freaking crap like this. You know, like, I hope my wife would kick me in the butt if I ever got in this situation where she's the one taking care of everything financially. Anyway, I make around $110,000 annually. Over the last 5 to 7 years, I have had to utilize credit cards to get by when illnesses and other unfortunate circumstances have arisen. Long story short, I'm $50,000 in credit card debt, and I also own my home with about $140,000 in equity. Is it reasonable to get a home equity loan that's 6 or 7% interest to pay off my high interest credit card debt, and which banks are highest recommended? Okay, I'm going to share this information with you. If you stop using the credit card and your credit card interest rates are a lot higher, and you pay the credit cards off and then don't use them anymore to grow, to build up another limit, great idea. Great freaking idea. Get the freaking things paid off and get that loan paid off, consolidate those things. Great. If that is your plan. Every financial tool is created for a reason, ladies and gentlemen, and we can use them and we can exploit those things for the best reason possible. I love credit cards. I only use a credit card. I swipe a credit card for everything business and for everything personal. There is no debit card in my wallet. I freaking love credit cards. But I understand how they work, and I never hold a balance. I pay them off every single freaking month, okay? So every tool is created for a reason. You got to figure out the reason and then use the reason. If I did need to get debt, I would have credit card debt before I had any other kind of debt, because credit card debt is very simple and easy to manage, okay? So it is a tool and a resource. If I ever had to come up with 20 grand and really quick and I didn't have it, I would use a credit card. It's a tool. It is 100% a tool. In this situation, that's 100% my answer. If you pay that off with a home equity line of credit, I'm going to save this one so I can respond. If you pay it off and then you get it paid off, or let's say you refinance the credit card and then you stop freaking using the credit cards and then you pay off that extra home, is it a HELOC that you're looking at doing? Yeah. Yeah, a home equity line of credit, a home equity loan. Yeah, that's a HELOC. Because HELOCs are freaking high interest rates right now. And so you really need to run the comparison on what is going to be best. I would just leave it with credit cards. I would just start getting freaking aggressive and pay it off. Debt is debt. But if that's your strategy and then you stop using the credit cards, that's a great idea. The problem is, and I've freaking seen people do this, is they pull $20,000 out of their house, pay off the credit cards, and then it's not that much longer. They're back into $10,000, $20,000 in credit card debt again. That's the problem. Debt is debt, ladies and gentlemen. Whether it's on a credit card, whether it's a home equity line of credit, doesn't matter. Debt is debt. So are you going to get serious and get these things paid off? Or are you going to just continue to roll your debt and roll it and roll it and roll it and move it from this, like consolidating loans? And you know how like credit cards are always marketing, hey, if you move your balance over to us, we'll give you $500. Like they're just trying to get you over there because they know how much money they're going to make off you when it comes to interest. That's the reason why they want you over there. Okay. So what WTF is my password? I would create a wealth creation plan, build a strategy, and get after it. If the home equity line of credit is the strategy and you're going to get after it, great. But if not, you're just moving one debt to another debt, and you're just kicking the problem down the road. Should we see this? Okay, somebody said rate my budget starting out $3,100 a month. So Phoenix Rising _876. Edited income $3,100 a month. Totally guesstimating utilities and gas. That's the hard part. Those are variable expenses. My max for my work health insurance is $2,500. So max out of pocket for my health insurance is $2,500, and I will definitely be hitting that. Rent $900, $900-ish. Does it adjust? WSG $100. Electric $90. Gas for the car is $200. Will probably be less, but it doesn't hurt. Phone and internet is $100. Food is $400. Cat litter, cat food $60. Insurance monthly $230. That's probably like home and auto and all that stuff. Insurance deductible, max out of pocket $2,500. Maintenance stuff, laundry, soap, dish soap, $54. Fun money, $100. Good job, $100 for fun. You guys, if we're working our butts off and not enjoying the money, what the frick is the point of it? Save about $600 a month for emergency funds. I usually put a small amount in a CD. Not entirely sure how a 401k Roth FSA works. Does this sound about right for a budget with utilities? I have a separate category for random expenses like new tires, oil changes, things going wrong. Okay, I'm just going to be 100% honest, you guys. This is what I love about a whole life insurance policy. It's because you could take that $600 a month, invest into a whole life insurance policy. You're growing a retirement account, and you're growing cash and a death benefit at the same time. The cash that's growing, you can use for emergency fund. It can be an emergency. It can be, oh crap, I need new tires, oil change. I don't have money for this, but you still have access to it at the same time, and you're earning an interest rate and a dividend. Like, you're growing. I don't hold very much money in my bank account anymore. I throw all my money back into my policies to pay them back, borrow again, pay back, borrow again, pay back, borrow again, pay back. Like, that is my bank account. That is my system, because I'm earning money while I'm using the money. I have access to the money all at the same time. So just something to kind of share there. You're doing a great job. You know your income. You know your expenses. I would really get very defined on what your goals are in this situation. Like, what is it that you really want to accomplish? You know, $600 for an emergency fund, that's a lot of money every single, what is that, $7,200 a year? That's a pretty big amount. Like, let's put that money to work while it's also like, hey, maybe something happens. Roth IRA, 401k, FSA accounts. I don't invest in CDs. I don't invest in any of those things. That's just my personal opinion on the things that I want. But I'm not saying they're right or wrong. You need to go study those things for yourself, but study every financial tool. Remember, every financial tool was created for a reason. Are you using it for that reason, or are you not? I think your budget's great. I would just really get it defined and dialed in and get specific. Like, what are your true goals? Because if you don't have a plan, the money will go find somewhere and something that does. Like, something always comes up, right? Something always freaking comes up. But if we tell our money what to do and where to go, we're in control. All right, I'm just going to do a scroll. 18 tomorrow. Somebody posted this 4 hours ago. Happy freaking birthday. Hope you have a wonderful birthday. Alex_126. Happy birthday. Oh, man. I forgot that other one. So since I saved that one, let me go find this one again, guys, because I kind of want to respond. Rate my budget. I'm going to save this one. Boom. All right. 18 tomorrow. Where'd that one go? 18 tomorrow, financial help. I'm turning 18 tomorrow, and I would like some tips or support on how to boost myself economically. Whoa, brain fart. I have about 5K. What could I do with it to make it grow? Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. You guys, what if you took that $5,000 and invested in something you really enjoy? You know, maybe there's some type of a program out there, a course, a mastermind thing, an event, a something that taught you a skill or taught you something that helped you earn $100,000 a year. Okay, so let's say you invested that 5,000 and you're making, let's say 30,000, and you increase your income to 100,000 because of that knowledge, because of that skill. That's $70,000 increase. Well, what if you made that for the next 35 years? That's $2,450,000. This is why I'm a believer in investing in education for a purpose of creating a career and a goal and income and providing for ourselves, because it doesn't freaking matter at the end of the day. Like, we got to do something we enjoy and then also make money too. Like, we have to have money. So I would say take that $5,000, keep it in that savings account, and get freaking aggressive on what you could do financially to earn more money. Like this person right here says, take $2,500 of it and open a Roth IRA. Buy a simple S&P index fund and continue to contribute whatever amount you can on a consistent basis. You'll retire a millionaire. If it was that freaking easy, everybody would do it. If it was that freaking easy, everybody would do it. I'm just saying. Yeah, go study that crap. But if you could increase your income, 18 years old. So let's say they retire. Let's say it's 68 minus 18. That's 50, holy frick, that's 50 years, guys. Let's say they increase their income by 60,000. 60,000 times 50. That's $3 million. You just earned $3 million. What is the return on investment for that $5,000? I don't even freaking know how to calculate that. You took $5,000, turned it into $3 million. There is the value. There is the reason why I invest a significant amount of money into books, courses, education, masterminds, getting around people. You know, like the 1%. I want to get around the 1%. What are they doing? What do they know? How are they operating? How are they building their teams? How are they hiring people? How are they firing? How are they investing their money? Where is their mindset? What are they doing? You are the top 5 people you hang around. Take that $5,000, go hang around people, and go turn it into 3 million or more. Like, how freaking crazy is that? That is what I would advise you to do. All right, next one. We're going to go. I was stuck for months trying to make money. Oh, I didn't say that person's name, did I? 18 tomorrow. This person, Alex_126. I think I did say that. All right, let's go find another one. Credit card debt consolidation tactics. Can I afford this? Saucy, SAUCYNLCK, under mortgages. Can I afford this? I'm looking to close my first property with my wife in the Chicago suburbs. I am only looking at my income and treating my spouse's income as additional support. We have had zero debt. I currently make just shy of $5,000 a month, plus a decent year-end bonus, maybe $8,000 to $9,000 a year. So they're making 60, so like 70 grand a year, 70-ish grand a year. The monthly mortgage on the home is estimated to be $2,600 to $2,700. I will be putting 20% down and remodeling most of the home, $405,000 sell price. My spouse currently makes $2,000 to $3,000 a month, never less than $2,000, sometimes over $3,000. I want to disregard my spouse's income and utilize that for all savings, as we are reaching at this monthly cost for the home. Your payment's half of your income. Well, you personally, if you're only looking at your income, it's half. But if you have no other debt or other expenses, and you plan to put 20% down, and you're going to remodel it, grow the equity of the, is your plan to sell it? Is your plan to sell it? Because if your plan is to sell it, like, hey, let's do this for the next 5 to 10 years, grow a bunch of equity in here. Yeah. Another thing I would look at, though, is you got taxes, insurance, and maintenance. Like, really calculate that and see if you can afford it. Taxes, insurance, all of those things, you guys. Even if you gain a bunch of equity, you probably lost it. So you really need to figure that out, because you guys, I would have to sell my house for a pretty good chunk of money right now to earn back everything that I've put into upkeep and remodels and fixing and all that stuff. Like, a house is not an asset. I believe 100% what Robert Kiyosaki says. He says an asset is something that puts money in your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. My house has not put any money in my pocket. Now, my wife and I built it for the purpose to sell, and we strategized it there. So eventually it will put some money into my pocket, but I still do not consider it an asset. I literally look at it as there's some money there, and I'm going to roll it to the next project. But it's not considered an asset. It does not put money in my pocket. So I would just calculate all those things between you and your spouse and see what your true plan is and what it is that you are trying to accomplish. Paid off one card advice. Here we go. Magical_days12 posted this 3 days ago in the debt-free thing. Don't focus on debt-free. There's the first tip. Focus on wealth creation. What you focus on expands. I'm going to tell you an interesting story, and I'm so glad for this lesson. But I remember growing up, my mom was in a very big, multiple times, debt-free, 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 debt-free. And, we'd constantly be like, hey, we'd want to do something. My mom would be like, not till the bills are paid, not till the bills are paid, meaning not until the debt is all paid off. And I loved that. I was like, frick yeah. But now looking back now, I was like, oh gosh, if you study the subconscious mind and how our mind works and what our mind does, what you focus on expands. So don't focus on debt. If you want to be debt-free, focus on creating wealth. And then you'll realize stupid debt is in the way and you'll get rid of it, and then you'll continue to grow wealth. That's where you can focus a lot of your time, effort, and energy. And that's why I believe in the money reset thing, is because you can either focus on saving or you can focus on increasing. And I want to increase. I want to live in abundance. So there's tip number one. Stop focusing on debt. Anyway, we're in the debt-free page. Paid off one card advice. How do you pay off the debt when you're paycheck to paycheck? I've been job hunting for months and still can't find a better paying one. You need new skills. You need new skills. That's where, that person that asked, what should I do with this $5,000? Invest it in new skills. Go invest it in skills that's going to increase your income. You guys, there's people out there making $1 million a year, and there's people out there making $30,000 a year. The only difference is skills and mindset and expectation. Go learn a skill that pays higher. My current one brings in less than $10,000 or $1,000 every 2 weeks. I have $8,000 in debt across 5 cards. Quit swiping the freaking cards. 2 have a limit of $500. 1 is $900. 1 is $1,200, and the final is the rest. However, it has the lowest interest. Quit freaking worrying about the interest on credit cards. Since it's with my local bank, I'm doing all I can to get rid of it as fast as possible. Just wondering if anyone has suggestions for side hustles. I'm going to need to get a new car soon due to unfortunate circumstances. So I would like to clear all my cards, but like my bank card ASAP. So 1, it's more manageable and I don't have to juggle all the due dates. 2, so I only have 1 collective payment and not 5 separate ones. I'm currently, quit applying for cards. You guys, I have 1 card personally. My wife and I operate off 1 card. And if we want a higher limit, we do a good freaking job at managing that 1 card, and they raise your limit anyway. You guys, we started out on our credit card currently $1,000 limit. We've never, ever, ever asked to have an increase, and it's $25,000 now. They increase it because we never have a balance. We always pay it off. And every time they're like, hey, would you like to increase your limit? Yes, please. Because the access to credit is one of the things that helps credit scores. So if you have access to $100,000 in credit cards and loans and stuff, but you never carry a balance or you show a low balance, they're like, wow, these people are really good. Let's give them more. Let's give them more. And your credit score increases, okay? So freaking get your main one, get rid of all the other crap. Now, if you have a business card and a personal card. If you have another business, have one business card, and a personal card. Keep things separate, but you don't need to have 5 personal credit cards, and stop getting store cards. Oh, if you get our store card, you're going to get 10% off. Okay, cool. You spend $400, 10% off. Do you realize how much money you just saved? And you put it all on a credit card that now gets interest? Stop getting store credit cards. Operate off one card. Manage everything off one card. All right. So 1, it's more manageable, and I don't have to juggle all the due dates. 2, so I only have one collective payment and not like 5 separate ones. Freaking man, I agree with you. Do that. I'm currently trying to sell a bunch of unnecessary items I've collected. I've been doing fine so far, but doing fine so far, but I really want to get rid of this debt. I've been making all my payments on time, but I'm paying a little over the minimum, since that's all I can do at the moment. I was also out of work for half a year due to health reasons. I'm sorry about that. I hope you're better, which has really put me behind and caused me to use the cards since money was tight. So you make about $2,000 a month. Depending on your expenses, if you have $800 in expenses and you make $2,000, you're doing great. I would get very aggressive. Very, very aggressive. And here's the one thing that I would do. Stop applying, like if you have a minimum payment of $30, stop paying $35. Pick the lowest balance. So if you have a balance, 2 have a limit of $500. Okay. Are both of those maxed out? Pick one card, pay it off. Pick the next card, pay it off. Pick the next one, pay it off. Because when you pay off one, let's say you're making a minimum 30, 30, 30, 30. So what is that? 150 a month times 5. Yeah. So pay your minimum payments, and everything extra apply to one card until it's paid off. Okay. This is what I like to do. Create a wealth creation plan. Wealth creation plan, and make minimum payments on everything, and create a wealth creation account in your bank account, like a savings account, money market account, whatever you want it to be, and get freaking aggressive. Stuff every penny you can into there. And then make a rule. Every time this account gets to $1,000, I'm going to take 500 and put down. Make minimum payments the whole time. Take the rest and apply there. That's what I love to do. And that's where I say stop focusing on debt. Start focusing on wealth creation. Because if you're saving money into a wealth creation account and you build a habit of putting money into that wealth creation account, $100, $200, $300, $400, $500 a month, what happens when you pay off those debts? You've now built a habit of sticking money in your wealth creation account. And you're like 500, 500, 500, 500, 500, 500. Next thing you know, you're like, crap, I got enough money to invest into some other things, or start this account, or invest, or buy real estate, or whatever it is that your goal and desires and dreams are. You've now built up a system. Okay. But if you build a habit of paying credit cards, you're going to freaking pay credit cards for the rest of your life. Let's build a habit of building wealth, a wealth creation account, a wealth creation plan. So do that. Or every time you get to 500, take 300 of it. Okay, I never like to take everything down to 0. The reason why, and this is a perfect example of that, is because something comes up and now you're like, crap, what do I do? I just blew a tire. I got to put a new tire on for $220. Bah, you got to use a credit card again. So that's where I say, build up to 1,000, take 500, pay a card off. Build up to 1,000, and you always have $500 if an emergency situation comes up. Okay, and now you've built a system to build wealth. That's what I would advise you to do 100%. And I'm gonna comment to this person because I love that. They're in a good situation. They're in a very good situation. Career guidance. Let's go. Budgeting for beginners. I built a free budget planner that makes a downloadable PDF or Excel sheet. Budgeting for beginners. Should we do this one? Richard Baxter. Not many people on here use their, well, maybe that's not your name. Richard Baxter. I built a free budget planner. Let's build a wealth creation plan that makes a downloadable PDF or Excel spreadsheet. That's freaking awesome. That's what I use. Hi, my name is Richard and a full-time developer. I have big project coming up, so I made, and he just shared it. That's cool. I'm I'm going to click on it. Oh my gosh. My big, beautiful budget. Holy crap. Cool. He used AI. He totally used AI. In short, it's free. You don't register. You never. I really hope you like it. Okay. He didn't have any questions. This is interesting that will prove useful for anyone wanting greater clarity. There you go. I guess he's got a free budget thing. I'm going to freaking yep, I saved it. Cool. There you go, guys. I just marketed his stuff for him. Go use it if you like it. All right. We're coming up on time, so I'm going to answer one more, and then we're out. Auto loan refinance. Boo, let's do this one. Okay, Perception Thin 3965. I got to save this one. I got an interest of 12.3% with my dealer, and I'm looking to see if I can find a credit union to refinance with. For me to find out if I owe more or less than what my truck is worth, well, I have to include the interest, 12.3%, with the principal. No. Example, amount finance, $61,000. Interest, 12% payment. Okay, no. Reason for high interest was not much credit history. You guys, my first one was like 12, 13%, so I get it. I did that for 6 months, and then I refinance. And the vehicle I got is a high luxury vehicle. I am aware if I was poor financial decision. I am aware it was a poor financial decision. It is what it is, dude. Move on. However, I am confident enough I can potentially fix this due to my conditions. I live with my parents. I'm 21 years old with a decent salary, $105,000 a year. Yeah. With liquid amount of $50,000. What's some tips, advice that you guys would recommend? Anything would help. Thank you. If you have $5,000 or $50,000 liquid, I would get a credit card. I would go apply for like a $1,000 to $5,000 credit limit, especially with your income. Maybe even I'd apply for 10 grand, and I would never spend more than $3,000 a month on that card. And next thing you know, your interest or your credit score is going to be really high, and then you're going to be able to go refinance that vehicle at a regular interest rate, whatever they are right now, 5, 6, 7%. So that's what I would do, and I would really look to refinance after 6 months to 9 months, depending on what the credit union bank does. Next thing I would do, I would for sure go get the credit card and start using that. If you want a credit card, some people don't want a credit card, but that's what I would do. Next thing I would do is with that payment, what was the payment? $1,200 a month. I would take that payment, and I would split it into 3 payments. So $1,200 divided by 3. In this situation, I would pay $400 on the 10th. I would pay $400 on the 18th, and I would pay $400 on the 25th. Every time you make a payment to a simple interest loan, which auto loans, credit cards, mortgages, all of these type of loans are called simple interest loans. Simple interest loans, every time you make a payment, it recalibrates how much is going to principal and how much is going to interest. If you make 3 payments a month, I'm not good at math, guys. So 12 times 3, 36. You just took your interest and recalibrated it 36 different times over the year. So I would do that until you're eligible to refinance it. I would get a credit card, never use more than 30% of your limit, pay it off every single month, build your credit up, go refinance that after 6 to 9 months. Whenever the credit union would allow you to get that interest rate down to a normal interest rate, and then I would set it up still where you're making 2 to 3 payments every single month. The exact same payment. If you pay $800 a month, split it into $400 payments. If it's $1,200 a month, split 2 to 3 payments every single month, whatever the bank or credit union will allow you to do, and you're going to pay that vehicle off quicker, and you'll pay a lot less in interest, saving you money. I get it. You're young. It sucks to pay that much interest, but sometimes it's not a bad idea to get some credit. Even though it's a luxury vehicle, you're in a good situation financially. I would get that vehicle paid off in the next 2 to 3 years and just be done with it. Take the lesson, take the learning, move on, and be smarter. You're 21 years old. If you learn from this, you're going to be just fine. All right, guys, that is it for today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching the Jared Briggs Show. Let's get better with money. Let's be smarter with money. And let's take control of our lives and be the master. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening. We'll see you.